Hey guys, Matt here at San Diego Comic-Con. I'm here in the place to be, the Hasbro booth. A brand new designed Hasbro booth, by the way, a fresh look for 2026. I'm here with Pat, and we're going to talk real Ghostbusters.
Absolutely, my favorite thing to talk about.
Absolutely, perfect. So what's new for 2026 on Ghostbusters?
All right, 2026 for real Ghostbusters is the 40th anniversary. So in the booth here, we've got a celebration of the last 40 years of real Ghostbusters history. So we've got role play, we've got old Kenner products, long lost vehicles that, you know, the Ecto 2, the Ecto 500, the Ecto 3, the Ghost Sweeper, Ecto Bomber, and then bottom shelf is our Wave 1 re-releases from 2020. And then, you know, peppered around the booth, it's just a celebration of everything from the toys to the show. We've got character model sheets, equipment model sheets, a giant Slimer sculpt.
I mean, what else would you have? I mean,
right.
And he's safely behind Plexi, so he's not going to get out, yes.
For now. And then up here, we've got our kind of our most recent releases. We've got our Ecto Glow capsule collection, as well as our the final item in the capsule collection, the Glowcopter.
Yes.
The long-awaited, you know, 35 years ago, this thing was a fabled prototype in the toy community. We've brought it to life for the first time, mass retail available, like on Pulse. Like, we're making it so that people can buy it.
Yes.
And then we've got our Janine and Tully and our ectoplasms announced yesterday. So carrying that legacy forward for another year, the 40th anniversary collection of Janine and Tully adds them to the Wave 1 lineup for the first time in 40 years.
And really fills it out.
Yeah. You know, my mentality in the last couple of years has been, how do we continue the legacy of Kenner? What would Kenner do if Kenner was still Kennering around the toy industry?
And now let's talk about the Glowcopter.
Yeah, absolutely.
I find this just fascinating in multiple ways.
Yep.
So it is a unproduced toy from the vintage line.
Yep.
And for San Diego Comic-Con, you guys said, hey, let's make this real.
Yep.
What's the process?
Chaos.
To go back, I guess, into the archives? I'm hoping that
very
you go
generous
back.
with that term, archives. But I pay attention to the fan community, right? And the lore surrounding the Glowcopter is significant. It was the crime mulcher from the Police Academy line. It was which also didn't come out.
Right.
It was this lawnmower helicopter thing for Police Academy. So knowing what it was, and there are images out there of the prototype that's been floating around for the last 30 years. So using those images, working with designers, there's a great book about the history of real Ghostbusters. Troy Benjamin and Craig Goldberg wrote this amazing compendium of just all the history of the brand, and like there is so much out there about this Glowcopter. Using that and then working with, I have an amazing illustrator who helps me with my 3D turns, my orthographic views, and he and I worked together to create this Glowcopter that looked almost one-to-one with the prototype.
Yep. And
there were things about it that, you know, we had to take a couple liberties with some angles that we couldn't see and some functions of it, but for the most part, it's as faithful as we were able to get it to that original prototype, or at least what we know of that original prototype. Right. The collectors that have these things, they have theirs, and they're very tight about sharing.
No. You're not going to lend that out to be 3D scanned.
Right. So being able to do our best to recreate it with the artist and the information that we have about the original, it got us to where we felt comfortable with saying, you know, this is the definitive Glowcopter. This is the Glowcopter that it might not be exactly as it was in '91, but we're gonna put our little spin on it where we can. It's definitely a labor of love and a well-researched item. So yeah, I'm just excited that people can finally have it. People can put it on the shelf.
I think it's an amazing idea, because that's especially when you collect vintage toys.
Right.
I mean, because I've fallen down. I have my full vintage Star Wars line, all the figures I have. I'm doing G1 Transformers. Like I've gone hard.
It's a bold,
no,
thing to collect.
Terrible decision, by the way. If you ever think, oh, I'm going to complete G1, don't. That's a terrible plan. But here I am. But that's sort of where, like, I love looking at the pictures of the G2 Seekers that were never produced.
Right.
Like, and I mean, I harassed your peers on the Transformers team regularly about, hey,
they love it.
Wouldn't this make a great Pulse exclusive? So I think that's really where I get really excited about, and I'm like, this is because, yes, it fills the hole in Ghostbusters, it builds the universe out. But if you were a vintage Ghostbusters collector, and if you have the full line, you can. Well, if you're here, you can get it at the booth, or you can order on Pulse. And you know what? You can put it on that exact same shelf, and it's going to work.
It's gonna fit in really well. There's a thing about collecting and Ghostbusters toys in particular, where we had fun with them when we were kids. Kids should be able to have fun with them now.
Right.
I want to be able to give these toys to my nephews, my kids, like. I want everybody to be able to get it if they want it.
Yep.
And those old toys,
they're
behind glass in people's houses
collectors
now.
Have them, you can't touch Dad's toys.
Exactly.
I mean, so no, it's a way of making the product available to a new generation.
Right.
Because there is something very toyetic and evergreen about the Ghostbusters property.
Yeah.
What do you think makes it work so well as toys?
Ooh, that's an excellent question. And I have a very well-prepared answer for this question.
We did not plan this.
So Ghostbusters, at its core, everybody wants to be a Ghostbuster. Everybody wants to be Winston, right? Winston is the everyman. He's the entry point into the Ghostbusters. For the people that, I'm not a scientist. I don't know if you're a scientist. I just met you.
Kind of.
Are you a scientist?
Yeah, I am.
Are you really? That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm an engineer.
Well, all right. Well, I'm not a scientist.
All right.
So for me, my entry into the Ghostbusters is, give me the tools, I'll figure it out. It's a role play brand at its core. Okay. So every kid wants to be a Ghostbuster. You grab the proton pack, you run off, you fight the ghosts. You fight you're afraid of the dark as a kid, right? You're gonna want to bust the ghosts that are there, make it a safer spot. And I watch my nephews play with this stuff, and they want to be Ghostbusters. So at its core, role play is an easy early entry for kids, and then they can tell their own stories. Right. So you give the kids the tools to craft their own stories with their own imaginations, and they'll play. They'll sit for hours and play. All con so far, I put all this stuff on the floor so that the kids could come up and sit on the floor.
And like you're playing with it at home.
Right. And if you look at the display, we've got the TV, and in front of the TV, the firehouse, and all the toys laid out. It looks like my living room when I was a kid. Yeah. I'm sure it looks like yours.
Yes.
Like you
today, actually.
Right. Yeah. You
right
sit
now,
on the floor, you play with these toys, and it gives kids the tools to tell their own stories, to kind of overcome their own fears, and know that everything's going to be fine. They got Ghostbusters.
And they're going to have Ghostbusters.
If I have anything to say about it, I'm going to make sure that they can get it.
That's fantastic. So we've got the Glowcopter available at Comic-Con and on Pulse next month. Later in the year or next year, we'll get the 40th anniversary 2-pack.
So yeah, that shouldn't be too much further into this year.
All right, that's soon.
Yeah, it should be pretty soon.
All right, awesome. And the ectoplasms
same
will
thing.
Be mass retail?
On the same schedule. They're both Pulse exclusives.
Okay.
So the thing about the ectoplasm cans, those are a Pulse exclusive for the full PDQ.
Okay.
As much as I wanted to get them into the retail at the point of purchase, what we were able to do with them was make the whole collection, the whole PDQ, available for collectors on Hasbro Pulse.
Okay.
There are 72 total figures in that collection, between the 12 different characters in the 6 different colors, and one of those colors glow in the dark. The very nostalgic glow in the dark. I don't know if you have the same affinity for glow in the dark toys that I have.
Glow in the dark, but that's a must-have on the shelf.
Absolutely. So you get the whole collection in one whack.
One pack.
And it's a great shelf display piece. If you've ever seen the old PDQ displays of the ectoplasm cans, artist Harry Moore, who's around here somewhere, he's right there. He created all this Ghostbusters art.
Okay. Very cool.
And all of it is unique. So we've done a lot of re-releases but doing that, what comes next? What was the next iteration of Kenner?
Yeah, growing the line.
Has, like, working with him has been a partnership, a dream come true.
That's
to
amazing.
kind of to work on this and go back and forth and ideate on some of these things, and he knocked it out of the park. That packaging is perfect.
Yeah.
It fits right in with that original Kenner aesthetic.
Right.
Looks great on a shelf, as you were saying, next to the old stuff, next to the new stuff. Perfect.
Right, and that's all you can ask. Like when you're expanding a retro line, like
Yep.
even like the Star Wars team does. What you want is you want to be able to take the new product and have it hang out with the old. That's what you want to do when you're revisiting a line, unless you're going to relaunch the whole thing. But in the continuation of a vintage line,
Right.
it's got a vibe from an aesthetics and a design perspective, and you guys are nailing it.
Thank you very much.
So,
It means a lot because that's the goal, right? I want it to blend in. I want it to feel like, you know, in 1991, how many versions of like a Kenner Batman figure existed? There was like Sub-Zero, there was neon orange.
Oh, they
like,
were the best.
Yeah,
Like,
you
that was
had
the
different
best stuff.
uniforms for everybody. There were at least 5 waves of Ghostbusters that were all different uniforms and unique like deco ops and stuff like that. So being able to kind of add to that legacy and continue that going forward is just awesome.
So now I'm going to end with one more question. So on your whiteboard,
On my
in
whiteboard.
your office or cube
Yeah.
or at
Listen
home
up.
if you work from home, do you have a theme for what comes after Ectoglow?
I have thousands of ideas,
Yeah.
and they're all in notebooks.
Notebooks.
And I talk about them every day, and to anyone who will listen, within the walls of Hasbro. So I can't tell you anything.
I'm not.
but
I know better than to
there is-
ask details.
there
I've
is
been in this
no-
game long enough.
There is no shortage of ideas.
All right. So
I have-
if the market demands, there is a strong future for real Ghostbusters.
as long as the fans want it and they make it known that they want it, and you know, as long as the stuff that we're making is doing well, I'll get to make more stuff.
That's awesome.
And as long as I get to make more stuff, I'm happy. If you're happy, I'm happy.
Perfect.
So let's try and just keep each other happy.
All right, there you go. You hear it there. A bunch of happiness around Ghostbusters. Ectoglow Copper at Comic-Con. Janine and Lewis and the Ectoplasms coming soon to Howard the Pulse. So buy the new product and get even more.
Absolutely.
Cool. Thanks, Pat. This was great.
This is awesome. Thank you so much.